Hello everyone, just a quick video for today. Yesterday I went to a craft rummage sale with a couple of family members, and I have a wonderful little pile of treasures here that I was able to find at the craft rummage sale. The first find was this really cool stencil. It was still in the packaging. It's a really nice big butterfly. Still in the packaging. It is a little bit adhesive on one side, but this will be great. I can use it on paper or fabric. I can reposition it. I can use part of the stencil. I don't necessarily have to use the whole thing. So that's really fun and exciting. I was very excited. I think I got this for $1. Which is really cheap compared to what I would have paid for in full price in a store. I was able to get my hands on a lot of buttons. In particular, I was on the hunt for yellow buttons. For some reason, yellow buttons have been the hardest ones for me to find. I do have quite a large button stash, but I always seem to be running out of yellow. And because I'm working on the bee books, I thought it would be wonderful to have some more yellow buttons. These are just plain. The larger ones are just the plain yellow. I might need to do a little wash up on some of them. Then there's this sort of mustard colored yellow. And I hope you can see the little white stitches that are imprinted around the edge of the button. And I also got these fabulous black buttons, which also have a stitching around the outside. So I was really excited about those. There was a free table. I think the buttons cost me 25 cents. There was a free table on the way out of the rummage sale. And I found this cross-stitch pattern or embroidery pattern, and it's of the Eiffel Tower. A friend of my sister's is thinking about having me make a journal for one of her family members concentrating on Paris. So I scooped this up. It's obviously pretty old. It has a nice patina around the edges. But I just thought this would just be a wonderful, wonderful addition to that junk journal when I get to that one. It's quite large. So there's so many things I could do with this. I could cut out each of the different sections and make them into a mini book. There's just so many things you could do with this. I could just use the completed picture of the Eiffel Tower, and I could just glue it down in the book, or I could fold it up. There's also a lot of other little pictures here with a lot of details, floral details. So that one is just super fun, and it was free. So that's always fun when you find a treasure like that for free. I also got a couple of pieces of material. Let me show you those next. The first one was this print. I think it cost me maybe $0.25, maybe 50 cents. But it is of a bee print. It's very subtle. The background color is, I'm going to say it's close to a beige. But the bees are super tiny, and I just thought that would be a really fun print to include in my bee journals. So we've got that one. Then I came across this piece of fabric, and I wasn't so much interested in the color of this fabric, but I was interested in the weave of it. And I just want to give you kind of a little close-up of what the weave looks like. I think that these openings are probably large enough to go ahead and use this fabric as a stencil, either with paint or with ink. I'm also going to chop a piece of this off and use it on my jelly plate to see if I can get a really interesting print using this as a stencil on the jelly plate. I hope to be getting the jelly plate out soon and doing a video on that. A couple of subscribers have asked me to demonstrate that. So that is definitely on the horizon. I also got a bunch of random buttons that were given to me by one of my family members who spotted them. I just love the colors of some of these. I have a journal started. It's called Pearl, and it's going to be made with a book that Pearl S. Buck wrote, and these are the colors in my color scheme for that book. But these are just really, really pretty little buttons, so that was fun to have my friend give me those, my family member. I found this fabulous tape measure for only 25 cents. And it is an older one because it's nice and thick. But again, it's in that yellow and black color scheme that I'm using for the bee journals. So I was super excited about that. I also got my hands on some washi tape for the bee journals. And they're probably, oh, I don't know, maybe not quite an inch thick. I don't know, I think they're more than half an inch, but we have the chevron here and then the smaller chevron here. If you're unfamiliar with what washi tape is, it's basically repositional tape. When I use it in journals, though, I do glue it on the back just because it doesn't always stick down by itself over the long term. So that'll be fun. I also found these adorable little, let's see if I can find a nice background here. These adorable little acrylic stamps. So there's quite a variety here. There's an owl and a little bird, a hummingbird, a butterfly, there's a dragonfly, there's a bee, another bird. I'm not sure what kind of bird that is. But anyway, how these work is they're adhesive on one side. So I'll just show you. I'll just peel the owl off because that's one of the bigger ones. You just peel it off of the backing, and it's got a little adhesion to it. And I have these small acrylic blocks, and you stick the stamp on the block, and then you ink the stamp, and then you can stamp it on paper or fabric or whatever you like. So those are really fun. I'm gonna save this one for last. Let's see what else I've got in my little stash here. Oh, these were just adorable. These are mini cards. I'll just give you a little size comparison for how big they are. Las Vegas Club, it says. Hotel and Casino, Las Vegas, Nevada. So they're just these adorable tiny little cards. I did count them this morning. I think there's only 30 something of them here. But I just thought these would be so fun to decorate and put in a journal or use them in a collage. Just mini cards, make mini pieces of altered card artwork. And they came in this cute little case. So I was really excited about that. I also got this embossing folder. Basically, it's a piece of plastic that has embossing on it. I don't know if you can see that. Maybe it'll be easier if I showed it to you with the background paper. But you can see it's a kind of a frame. And what you do is you put paper or fabric, depending on how stiff the fabric is. You put it in there, and then you close it. And then I have an embossing machine, and you hand crank this piece through the machine along with some plastic and glass plates, depending on the thickness of what you're trying to emboss. And then it embosses the paper. So hopefully this will fit into my machine. I'm pretty sure my machine is 4.25 by 4.25 across. So I think it'll fit. We're gonna give that a try later. This is a little charm. It's like a Vera Bradley charm, maybe? I don't know. It was with this ribbon, and I actually had found it in the parking lot, and it was raining really hard when we were out there. I thought about taking it back in, but there were so many people inside the building, I didn't think I'd ever be able to find the person that lost it. But if you know someone whom it belongs to, let me know and I'll give it back to them. I thought it would be fun on a journal, in a journal, maybe as a charm / bookmark. So I could take the end of this ribbon and I could thread it through here and, you know, tie it in a knot and then have it be a dangle or a bookmark in a journal. I thought that would be so fun. One of the ladies that I bought some little things from put the items in this bag, which I thought was so cute. So I'll be reusing this bag in a journal or a collage. Heather, my friend Heather, loves flamingos. She actually has a full-size one, actually probably a giant flamingo in her living room. His name is Floyd. So I might also give it to Heather because I think she would really enjoy it. Okay, I saved a bag of unknown things for last. This bag was $3. Obviously, there are some things in here that are recognizable, but I haven't opened the bag yet, so it's a little bit of a surprise. So let's see what we got for $3, shall we? I just love these huge paper clips. I can't tell you how many times I'm sitting at my desk while I'm working and I cannot find a paper clip to save my life, or, you know, a little bulldog clip or whatever they're called. So these are nice, but I also thought about decoupaging them. So decorating them with something, I thought that might be really fun. So there's 4 of them in the bag, so that's exciting. I'm excited to see what I can do with those. Then we have some double-sided clear adhesive tape. I know that a lot of crafters swear by the double-sided tape. I haven't really played with it much, but maybe this is my opportunity. This is some kind of measuring device. It might be for a quilter. I'm not really sure. I've never seen one quite like that. This looks to be some kind of binding, perhaps. What was this? A little bit of thread. But I like the color because it's neutral, so I could use it in different ways, perhaps as trim on pages of journals, etc. And then we have this. I didn't even realize this trim was in there, but it's black beads and clear beads, and the other color is kind of a, oh, I would call it like a dark champagne kind of color. But this would be really fun as a trim on a page, or to use as a closure for a journal. Like if I made a small journal, I could use this to wrap around the outside of the book to hold it together. So that is really fun. I don't know what this is. It's possible that it's some kind of quilting tool. All you quilters out there, if you know what this is, please tell me. I have no idea what it is. It would be really fun to use as a stencil though, because it's got the 2 size circles that I could just trace around. This tiny little box. And these are little clips, little metal clips. I'm wondering if there's some kind, they are some kind of jewelry finding. I'm not sure. Okay, my cat might jump up on the table, so just be forewarned. I think that was my last little find. So that was my haul from yesterday's sale. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't already subscribed yet, go ahead and do so. I'm really close to 100 subscribers, and that's kind of my first milestone on YouTube. So just take a moment and subscribe. If you have any comments, please also add them here, and I will respond to them. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Bye now.